and the Queen of the Coast rules over that area, and the Queen of the Coast rules over all of the wizards in that area, and the rulership and the spirits all come from under the sea. Now, in witchcraft, women are stronger spiritually and supernaturally than men. So the women rule over the male wizards. They're very, very evil spirits. You've got principalities, you've got rulers over lakes. So the Queen of England is the strongest Queen of the Coast in the world. And the people from Africa, the Queen of the Sea and the wizards and all of those people, they have to go and get initiated in India to assume their post in Africa. So Indian spirits are the strongest spirits in the world. And then you have the Queen of the Coast of the Atlantic Ocean.
Entities. Then suddenly, I saw a serpent, a huge one, appearing above the river. After the manifestation of this serpent, I saw the goddess of the Indian Ocean appearing. The goddess of India stood above this mythical snake. She was tall and beautiful. I was shaking in front of this entity. After her appearance, the mermaid said to me, "I am the Queen Marashanti of India. What can I do for you?" I said to her, "You are the only one in all the universe that can fill the need of my heart." She says to me, "Follow me." I followed the Queen of Indian Ocean in her submarine kingdom. We must understand that after the fall of Lucifer he wandered in the physical and immaterial universe. At the end he decided to build a civilization. The moment I entered the mermaid world, I noticed that there was no sun, no stars. It was similar to an imaginary world, but it was real. It was the realm of Diva and the great ladies of the sea. Our popular musician Kofi sang a song in which he mentioned this mermaid kingdom located under the Indian Ocean. In his song he complimented and praised the great lady of the sea, who are also called Diva.
19
city campuses. Look at our streets today.
Absolutely. Claire, you didn't even know I was going to bring this up. How about this? Michigan Free Press, April 15th, 1974. Gloria Steinem wrote, "Overthrowing capitalism is too small for us. We must overthrow the whole patriarchy." So that's talking about a patriarchal society. You know, what's interesting is John Wayne warned of this in a 1970s interview. It isn't interesting how much John Wayne knew what was coming. And what are they trying to do now? They're trying to tear down the statue of John Wayne at the John Wayne Airport there in Orange County. And I deal with a whole section of that in my documentary Siege. Whole section on why it is they're trying to tear down monuments, statues, histories, and icons. One of them being John Wayne. Why? Because John Wayne was a staunch anti-communist. He held big rallies there in California. He worked with Fred Schwartz of the Christian Anti-Communist Campaign, but also, of course, Chuck Nyquist. And he talks about interviewing former KGB officers who say that the deal with Russia and China is that Russia can have Alaska and China can have the lower 48. And they were literally talking about, as you did, a literal land invasion of the U.S. because they have 1.5 billion people. They need land. So here's the question. His family, including him, he's one of the owners, correct?
Of the Gulf Container Company that now has access to Port Canaveral.
So now his family runs these shipping container ports, and they're also involved in relationships with Gulftainer.
Well, Gulftainer is the company co-owned by Jafar family and the Emir of Sharjah. They are in a joint venture with this Russian company that makes the Club K cars. So you see the connection. The Russians make
What could go wrong? So now they can smuggle these into the U.S., place them down all over the U.S., and what's very interesting is our friend, the late Phil Haney, and people often ask, what's the latest on Phil? The latest on Phil is there seems to be nothing. We can't get any answers. They won't return our calls. People who are formerly in government and intelligence, I mean, something's going on. But our
boxes, right?
Show that screen, Eric. Show that Gulftainer Club K cargo container.
Now, here's the thing. Gulftainer, remember, Middle East company, Saddam Hussein's bomb maker family, Jafar, Sharjah Emir of Sharjah, co-owners, they're in a joint venture with a Russian company. The Russian company sells what you see here on this photo, a Club K cargo container system. Now, what Club K does, the Russian company, Club K, they modify these shipping containers to whatever the customer wants. I mean, inside of there, you could have all kinds of different arrangements and setups. But this particular one that concerns us is the one you saw in the photo, where the lid of that shipping container can pop up, and then 4 missiles that had been laying down flat can stand up from inside of the cargo container and be ready to fire. All of this can be done by remote control signaling.
4 cruise missiles, folks. Now, Eric, go to the Pearl Harbor 2.0 slide. Now it's going to make more sense. So now we've got all the, okay, look at that. So now you've got all these Club K cars that have been positioned. They can be put on freighters, they can be put on land, and now they can start hitting things inside our own country. So this is Pearl Harbor 2.0, okay?
But all of this is going on, within missile flying distance of Miami, Florida.
Yeah, 1,264 miles as the crow flies from northern Venezuela, Caracas to Miami. And by the way, Russia landed 2 supersonic nuclear jets there, and I show you the footage in Siege at siegethemovie.com of these 2 jets, nuclear jets, landing in Venezuela. As she just said, Caracas, northern Venezuela, 1,264 miles as the crow flies. Well, what if they have a Club K car there? What if they have multiple Club K cars there? Where, many years ago on radio, my audience knows at worldviewradio.com, I warned America that Venezuela could become another Cuban Missile Crisis situation. And yet now we have the former, well, at the time, CIA Director Pompeo, who's now Secretary of State, warning and telling Chris Wallace on Fox News that China, Russia, Cuba, Hezbollah, are all, and now I guess Iran, are all in Venezuela. Correct, Claire?
That is absolutely correct.
Claire's saying is the exporter of this cargo container is 100% Russian owned. The port facilities like Port Canaveral in Florida, now in, I think, Wilmington, Delaware. They're talking about another one in Texas, I think, as well. This family, is it Dr. Jaffer?
Jafar, the Jafar family. His name is Jafar Dia Jafar.
Wasn't he formerly one of the family members who's involved in this, formerly the head of Saddam Hussein's nuclear program?
He was Saddam Hussein's nuclear mastermind. He designed, we don't know if it was ever built, but he designed something we call the beach ball because it's round and it looks like that. But it is the same kind of a nuclear device that has been seen in photos more recently with the ruler of North Korea, Kim Jong-un.
And that is Pearl Harbor 2.0. You were involved in a document, writing and overseeing this document on Pearl Harbor 2.0. There it is on the screen right there. You were involved in writing that. Let's go to the next screenshot, because this should send chills through people today. This is coming from the Russian Federation state-owned enterprise, Rosenborn Export, okay? So this is their image. This is their image. What do you see? You see them striking. You see them striking some of our troops, some of our bases, our ships with Club K car. Claire, can you tell us about the Club K car and Pearl Harbor 2.0?
Right. So back 2016, 2017, a pair of excellent investigative reporters, Mary Fanning and Alex Jones, put together a piece of research that, as Brandon just said, is really chilling. And you will see a couple of papers that they produced about a situation that involves our ports. Now, there is a company, a Middle East company called Gulftainer. It is co-owned by the Emir of Sharjah, that's one of the United Arab Emirates in the Persian Gulf, and the family of Saddam Hussein's nuclear mastermind. The family name is Jafar. That nuclear mastermind is Jafar. What was his name? Jafar. Let's just say family name is Jafar. Jafar. Jafar Dia Jafar, I believe it is. And co-owns this company, Gulftainer, whose business is to manage port facilities around the world. Well, back in 2014, there was a proposal from Gulftainer to obtain the 35-year leasing rights at Port Canaveral, Florida, for the container facilities at that port, meaning the place where all those shipping boxes that you see on top of ships, and they can be offloaded to trucks, 18-wheelers, they can be put on trains. That's why they're called intermodal containers. So they manage all of that. And we have here in the United States an oversight committee. It is called for short CFIUS, that's an acronym, Committee for Investment in the United States, for Foreign Investment in the United States. CFIUS, we term it for short. Now, this committee is kind of a pickup team that would include representatives from key cabinet departments and the intelligence community, depending on the issue in front of them. So it could include a representative from, let's say, the Department of Commerce, the Department of Transportation, Department of State, and so forth, as well as from the intelligence community. Well, CFIUS is supposed to be convened to review and to provide a national security review on any kind of investment, be it purchase or lease, of of facilities, infrastructure, critical infrastructure facilities in the United States. Well, certainly management of container facilities at one of our key ports down along the Atlantic coast of Florida at Port Canaveral, which is smack dab in the middle of the naval bases, of course, the Kennedy Space Center just along that coast to the south of it as well. Very sensitive, important part of our coastline. That is where Gulftainer wanted to obtain this lease. Well, what happened, and this is, of course, 2014, in the middle of the Obama administration, it was somehow decided that, well, there's no issue here. We don't really need to convene CFIUS. They don't have to conduct a security review of this. We'll just let them have the lease. And so they did. And so to a complete concern, it's something that ought to have been looked at or considered before that lease was ever given to Gulftainer. But yes, Venezuela, of course, a completely collapsed state now under the rule of Nicolas Maduro, the successor to Hugo Chavez, and in close coordination, collaboration with Russia. Because why? Well, because Russia and also Iran helped to keep it afloat after, just as you said, Brannon, the Nicolas Maduro criminal kleptocracy, narco-trafficking regime destroyed their own oil company, PDVSA, Petróleos de Venezuela. The acronym is PDVSA, as they say in Spanish. And that company is completely destroyed. And in any case, Venezuela's oil, which is massive reserves, is very difficult to get out. It's in tar sand formations, but so it's wrecked. And there's of all countries on the face of the earth that ought to be self-sufficient in energy production is not. So the Russians are helping to keep them afloat. Iran is sending oil tankers, busting sanctions to do it, from Iran with oil to supply Venezuela. Venezuela is paying them in turn with gold bars, gold from its stockpiles, I suppose. But all of this is going on, within missile flying distance of Miami, Florida.